To the open floor, shot blocked by TJ.
Shaver step back, got it.
Econ is getting that mid-ranger to drop.
Pick, roll, dunk.
9 months ago, these two teams met to play the final game of the regular season in the Mountain West. Today, Fresno State and Boise State kick off Mountain West play at ExtraMile Arena with Brian King, Leonard Berry here in Boise. And Brian, this is a game that Boise State has certainly had circled ever since they suffered their only home loss of the season last year to the Fresno State Bulldogs.
Yeah, Leonard, you're right. This could be, some would say, maybe a grudge match even for Boise State, as Fresno State pretty much knocked Boise State out of the NCAA tournament. So a great team to open Mountain West Conference play tonight for Boise State.
The Broncos will be excited about it. No better way to come into conference play than on a 6-game winning streak. That's what Boise State is doing after taking down Washington State 58-52 in Spokane on the 22nd.
Boy, it was a real dogfight in Spokane and a nice win for Boise State over a Pac-12 team. Pretty much all done in the second half. Boise State limited to 19 points in the first half. Kejab, Degenhart got it going in the second. They combined for 25 points. And the Broncos get their 5th consecutive win of the season.
Boise State needed that victory. It gives them a lot of confidence coming into this conference play. You mentioned Abu Kejab playing a huge part. How about 16 of his 19 total points on the night coming in the second half? He currently leads the Broncos with 14.8 points per game.
He really has become the go-to guy for Boise State. I think everybody's identified that. He will need to score, and he'll need to score often for Boise State to win tonight against a really good Fresno State team.
And of course, for Boise State, scoring has been something that they have found recently, but all year long, the defense has been so important for these Broncos. Leon Rice highlighted it in the preseason back during Mountain West Media Day. They've come up and showed out all season long, and they're hoping to continue it into the conference.
Yeah, Leonard, when you think of Boise State, you think of, high flying, running up and down, dunks, lots of points, and that just has not been the case the last couple of years for Leon Rice's team. They can really guard you, and I think everybody in the conference knows it. They'll have to come ready to play. They'll have to be good offensively to beat Boise State.
Well, the Bulldogs, the 3rd best team defensively in the nation. We're expecting a dog fight in this one. It's Orlando Robinson and the Bulldogs taking on Abu Kejab and the Boise State Broncos. We'll have it for you here next on the Mountain West Network and Stadium. Play the 9-4 Boise State Broncos playing host to the 10-3 Fresno State Bulldogs. Leonard Berry, Brian King here with you from ExtraMile Arena. Last year, Boise State suffering their only home loss to these Fresno State Bulldogs. This is the first time that the two teams have ever matched up to start off a season here in Boise.
Yeah, again, a little bit of a grudge match for Boise State. Fresno knocked them out of the NCAA tournament last year, and there's a little tension in the arena already tonight. This is going to be a good one, Leonard.
It should be a good one. Fresno State on the season, 1-3 on the road. They've had some tough road games to begin their season, of course, but they are coming off a big win against Weber State. Here's a look at how the teams match up, and we highlighted this earlier. Defense is going to be the key. Fresno State holding opponents to 54.9 points per game. Boise State, on the other hand, holding opponents to 58.5 points per game.
Yeah, on paper, Leonard, it really looks like a defensive battle. I mean, this is going to be a wrestling match. This is going to be a dogfight. They're both going to be patient offensively. Here we go. It's tip-off time for the Mountain West Conference.
Always a great way to get things started. The start of conference is so exciting for everyone. It's a loud, busy ExtraMile Arena here tonight. The fans know what this game means for Boise State, but it also means a lot for Fresno State as well. You want to start off with no blemishes on that conference record, and especially in a Mountain West Conference that looks to be as strong as ever in the 21-22 season.
Boy, it really is a deep conference, and for Fresno State to kind of come in here and maybe sneak one away tonight, you got to think this would be a really big win for them on the road.
Boise State debuting some new uniforms as well, as icy as the streets outside. 21 degrees here in Boise, snow and ice all over the ground. The Bulldogs find themselves a long way from the Central Valley. It's Armish and Robinson on the tip, and it is won technically by Boise State. Smart play by Kejab. to get the Broncos the first possession.
Then we're going to see a lot of man-to-man defense. We may not see any zone the entire night, and they're really going to guard you, both teams.
Marcus Shaver puts up the first shot of the night, and a two-pointer falls for Marcus Shaver right inside that line.
Well, he shoots with a lot of confidence, and for Boise State, if Shaver could get things going early, it's really a huge advantage for the Broncos.
Shaver's been one of the better scorers for Boise State this season. In fact, he's second on the team with 12.5 points per game. Fresno State wants to run a lot of their offense through the pick and roll and through Robinson, getting him the ball on both the inside and the outside. This is Junior Ballard.
Yeah, Fresno's really good with the shot clock running down. They're very patient. There you talked about Robinson, potential NBA player. He can play.
Puts that one up too long. Rebound grab by Leo Colamario. And now a three-point attempt that's off the mark from Jordan Campbell. Robinson can definitely play. He, in fact, opted to try to go for the NBA draft last year before eventually withdrawing his name. This will be a foul against Campbell. The reason Robinson's able to come back is because he didn't hire an agent, and that's been the big thing recently. You can declare for the draft, but as soon as you hire that agent, you lose your eligibility.
Yeah, that's right. And talking to the Boise State coaching staff, they think a really good move by Robinson. He's really matured. He's really kind of grown into his own, and he's potentially a Player of the Year candidate in the Mountain West Conference.
Not only just in the Mountain West, but in fact right now he's 7th in the nation in the KenPom Player of the Year rankings. Degenhart rattles home a Boise State three.
Boy, talk about confidence. The freshman from Spokane, he's not afraid of anything. He just comes out and fires away.
Degenhart coming off an 11-point game back in his hometown in the victory over WSU. Another huge Power 5 conference victory for Boise State. Here's Robinson trying to get his first points and smooth off the glass.
But Fresno will run that every time down. Ball screen with Robinson. He'll either fade to the three, he'll slip cut for a layup. He's very confident either way.
Manuel Akout rises up and he cashes in.
Oh, we're seeing a lot of buckets made by Boise State early. Maybe this will be an offensive game. Maybe we're wrong.
Maybe we are wrong, Brian. Certainly not what Fresno expected. Boise can definitely score the rock, and they're showing that here early. Ballard. Everyone in the arena wants to travel. There's no call. Kejab can't get the steal. It's 5-on-4 for half a second. And now Isaiah Hill. Great defense from Shaver. What a block. And the ball's loose off of Marcus Shaver Jr. out of bounds.
Boy, that was a great block by Marcus Shaver. He came out of nowhere to get a piece of that.
Isaiah Hill certainly knows a thing or two about scoring. Tulsa transfer, shot clock winding down, hits rim for Ballard. And Shaver loses it, ton of contact. Maybe not the defensive struggle we thought, but certainly a lot of bumping early, and the whistle being swallowed so far.
Yeah, a lot of energy in the arena tonight too. They're on the officials.
Isaiah Hill for three. Hill hit the game winner for Fresno State back in that victory in March when Boise State was effectively knocked out of the NCAA tournament. At least their at-large bid was gone. Armish trying to get around Robinson, and that's some tough defense that he's trying to fight through.
Boy, Boise State offensive, they're really in the attack mode. I mean, they're just putting the ball on the deck, going at people. Robinson can shoot that.
That's why you see Armish step out right there. Now Robinson into that face-up, gets it back to Isaiah Hill.
Here you see the high ball screen. They run this a lot. He'll either slip off of it or he'll pop. There's the slip.
Ballard comes free off a backside screen, finds Colamario, who's wide open, but it's off once again, and Degenhart collapses on it.
Pretty good possession by Fresno State. Very patient. They got the right shot. See if Boise State continues to attack here.
Certainly can't imagine this type of intensity can stay intact for 40 minutes. Nice pass from Akot, but Armush lost it off his hands. It's a 2-point lead for Boise State at the first break. Tyson Degenhart hitting from the outside. Boise State with the early 2-point lead. Two teams that have been certainly favored going along as the season has moved on in terms of the net and the KenPom rankings. Fresno State has already jumped up to number 63 and number 50 in the net, while Boise State is 57 in the KenPom, 68 in the net rankings. Mountain West has 5 teams in the top 70 of the net rankings as Robinson drives the baseline.
That high ball screen again.
It's Hill with the turnaround. That is off. It is nearly kept alive, but it goes into the hands of Degenhart for his second rebound of the night.
Yeah, Fresno earlier, they're getting good looks. 2 of 9 from the floor. Not great. That's the difference on the scoreboard.
3 offensive rebounds for Fresno State. This is going to be a foul. A couple turnovers for the Broncos as well have limited them to just 4 shots, but they've made 3 of the first 4, which is never a number you're going to be disappointed about.
Yeah, and that's been a little bit of a problem for the Broncos this season, is taking care of the basketball and the half-court offense. And they've played a number of teams that have really gotten after them defensively. The 24 turnovers against Tulsa, still managed a way to get a victory out of that one.
And that is born out of the fact that they are so astute defensively. Armish, no one was there where he was throwing the pass. It is stolen by Deion Stroud, who now loses the basketball on his entry, but Acott is going to pick up the foul.
Yeah, and speaking of turnovers, just as we were talking about there comes one, the 3rd for the Broncos already.
Armish got doubled, and we've seen that now a couple of times, both when Degenhart and Armish have tried to post up down there. Robinson comes over on that help side defense, and he just doesn't allow anyone to escape.
Yeah, and when you get doubled, 1, you've got to expect or know that it's coming, and 2, when it comes, you just can't panic. You just have to be patient, make a good play out of it.
As soon as you see it's there, it's already too late.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You got to know it's coming.
Robinson looking for the handoff. Instead lets Ballard fly by for the isolation. Spinning right, help defense comes from Acott, knocked out by Stroud, and this will be Bronco basketball.
Yeah, really a good move by Robinson there. Got a good look, but the weak side help came from Boise State. Put a little pressure on him. Maybe made his take his vision off it a little bit. 2 of 10 now for Fresno from the floor.
Yeah, tough start for the Bulldogs. Scoring 66.5 points per game, shooting about 44% on the season. 10 wins, just 3 losses. Armish down low.
Boy, that pass left his hand. I went, uh-oh, here's another turnover. But Armish makes a great catch. We'll get the look. Little high-low feed. Nice pass by Degenhart. Big fella finishes.
Tough call there on Junior Ballard. Let's see, they're going to call the foul against. And he has to hit the bench as he picks up another foul in this one. That is his second. Armish trying to complete the and 1. Make it a 3-point play.
Oh.
Free throw off. Looks like we got a lane violation though, so Armish will get another chance.
Well, this has not been the best scenario for Boise State this season is to be at the free throw line. It's not worked out in their favor so far. Armish shooting 36%. He gets a gift here. He gets another one. Let's see if he can knock this one down.
Try number 2.
Big fella.
A little bit of a friendly bounce.
There you go. Now I'm guessing that counts as 1 for 1 in the scorebook, right?
It does.
Off to a good start for Boise State.
Only free throw they've put up so far, and they make it. Broncos up by 5. Robinson again trying to set that high screen as Hill goes down. Not a whole lot of contact. He's trying to walk it off. Stroud for 3, and that'll lead to a timeout to try to check on Isaiah Hill. 3 more for Fresno, and their second 3-pointer of the night comes courtesy of Deion Stroud, the UTEP transfer.
Well, we talked about Fresno's really getting good looks. Haven't made many. That one went down for him.
Already 2 of 6 from deep. Made only 3 shots. 2 of them have come beyond the arc. Degenhart in the near side corner.
Oh.
Another 3 for the freshman.
Degenhart. It's too easy for the freshman. It's too easy.
And you get looks like that, it certainly can be. And for whatever reason, teams have not started stepping out on Tyson Degenhart, even though he's shown time and again that he will take and make the 3 ball.
Boy, he shoots it with such confidence. It's so smooth, so fluid. He makes it look really simple.
Already under 10 on the shot clock for the Bulldogs. Stroud, tough look. What a make.
Oh, with 5 on the shot clock.
That was not easy. Moving in, and Stroud hits it. It is a two-pointer. That was a difficult shot. He made it look rather easy. Stroud's got 4 points. They've actually changed his initial three-pointer to a 2 as well. Harmish finds Rice. Max Rice, little floater, and that one is well short.
Boy, Max had his eyes on everything but the rim when he went in there. There's a lot of big bodies in there, I get it. But
here's Yap up off the glass. Donovan Yap, sophomore who transferred in this year from UNLV, showing his scoring touch.
Yeah, Leonard, we talked about earlier the number of transfers on both schedules is another turnover by Boise State.
And it leads to a cheap foul as well. Cheap turnover in the backcourt off the double. Acott picks up a foul. And Fresno State showing their defensive presence.
Well, listen, you can't be careful at all against these two teams. You can't take your eye off the ball. You have got to be aware of what's going on the entire time, because there are bodies flying around with both of these teams running through passing lanes. They will defend you.
Boise State tied for second in terms of points per game given up in the Mountain West. Them and San Diego State have both given up 58.5% on the year. Bulldogs third in the entire country, giving up just 54. Only Texas and LSU are giving up less. Here's 3 on the shot clock for Stroud. Another very tough look, does hit rim, but no chance that one was gonna go in.
Boy, Boise State making it really difficult for Fresno right now.
Degenhart back to Shaver, deep 3, and another one that only touches the netting. Another timeout coming here on the floor. Fresno State battling their way back with some tough buckets. First day of Mountain West Conference play. Boise State hosting Fresno State. Here's a look at how the teams did in the non-conference. 3 of them picking up at least 10 wins in their non-con schedules. Fresno State among those, Wyoming, Colorado State the other 2. Boise State with an opportunity here tonight to maybe jump into that echelon.
Yeah, Leonard, I think you got to say that the league is loaded this year. I mean, look at those teams that you can take the first 5 or 6 teams, but don't forget Nevada down there, right? I mean, this is a really good basketball conference, always has been, but I think it's definitely superior this year to a lot of other conferences.
Yeah, last year, even during the COVID season, the league looked very strong as Robinson steps outside for the first time. But this year, it seems like everyone has really taken that step. Colorado State, of course, the team that's taken the biggest step from last year to this, and there's a Boise State turnover as Hijab just lost it.
Well, and Wyoming picked to finish 9th in the conference, and they've got 11 wins. So a really good conference. Good start for the Mountain West.
Much like the Mountain West did it in their bowl games this season in terms of football. Of course, Boise State's bowl being canceled just yesterday means that the Mountain West goes 5-0 in bowl games, with Air Force winning today and Robinson getting 2 points. He's just 2 of 5 from the floor.
Yeah, it's not good to talk about football right now in Boise, Idaho. I think everybody's just really, really disappointed we didn't get to watch a football game.
Foul on the floor underneath the hoop. This one looks like it's going against Dion Stroud as he was holding Hijab, and indeed that is who gets the whistle.
Well, we're all tied up here, and the interesting stats so far, Fresno has 16 field goal attempts, and Boise State has 8.
And you look at it, Boise State 5 turnovers, the Bulldogs have none so far. Also 3 offensive rebounds for the Bulldogs compared to none for Boise State. Here is another Bronco turnover as Campbell runs the floor.
Boy, I'm just telling you, you just have to be careful with that basketball if you're Boise State. 6 turnovers in the first 10 minutes of the game.
And Fresno State is now on an 8-0 run to take the 2-point lead.
Well, you got to think Fresno, they're just hunting it, right? I mean, they're just kind of baiting you to make a pass, and they're going to run through a passing lane, and they're feeling it now.
There's a lot of interceptors on this Fresno State team. They got quick hands too, though. You saw there, Colomario got his hand in the way. Stroud almost picks one off there. Acott hits rim. Armush will get Boise State's first offensive rebound. and they can recycle the possession. Little jab step there from Acott. Armush trying on Robinson, and he will get rewarded with the foul and a trip to shoot 2.
Yeah, good aggressive take by the big fella. I'm not sure there wasn't much else for Boise State to do in that possession. So Armush just says, I'm just going to go get myself one.
And right now, if you're the Broncos, Brian, you've seen when you enter the ball into the post, you're going to get doubled. I mean, someone's got to be open. So for Boise State, how do they start finding the open player on that backside?
Well, again, you've got to recognize that it's coming, right? You can't get surprised when you catch the ball and all of a sudden there's 2 people there. You've got to know it's coming, and as soon as it comes, that ball's got to get out of your hands quick. You've got to release dribble and get away from it. But you can't make your decision after the double team has already occurred.
Armitage trying to go 3 for 3 from the line here in the first half. Can't do it on that one. Colomario the rebound. Colomario, interesting story, from Sao Paulo, Brazil. His brother Lucas plays professionally in Brazil, but he came to the U.S. not only to play in high school, but also to play for Fresno State. And the Broncos have an opportunity to take the lead back as Kijab just sprints in. Shot is waved off, though. The foul came before the attempt.
Yeah, I like that play by Kijab. The Broncos did that earlier. The first 3 or 4 possessions, they put it on the deck. They just went and got contact and got to the rim. And Kijab made his mind up early he was going to do it.
Certainly seems what Boise State needs to do here at the moment. Of course, Fresno does lead the entire conference. They're 24th in the nation in terms of opponent field goal percentage, limiting their opponents to just 38% from the floor. A devastating number. Great backdoor cut from Max Rice.
There you go, Max. That might kind of get him going a little bit. Great cut, great finish from the Bishop Kelly High School product.
One of the 5 that have ties to Spokane for Boise State. Of course, Dad Leon coached as an assistant under Mark Few at Gonzaga for a good long while before joining Boise State 12 years ago. Step back swish from Jordan Campbell.
Boy, that was not an easy bucket. Great play by Campbell. And Fresno again took the shot clock down to single digits. They're very patient. They're going to make you guard them the entire time.
Jordan Campbell, big time Oregon State transfer. Spent just 1 semester with the Beavers, then came to Fresno State. Much like Abu Kijab when he transferred from Oregon.
Yep.
Had to sit out most of that first season. Smith loses it, no whistle. And here come the Bulldogs the other way with Yap. Rice, did he take the charge? Yes, he did. Max Rice takes the charge. Hustle play for Boise State. And they trail by 1 heading in to the break. Rice with the bucket and the harm. Now, Fresno State started the game off rather slowly. They have come back to life here in this first half. They've taken 19 shots already. They got 8 of them to go down.
Well, they didn't get them early, but they're getting them right now. And again, they're very patient in their half-court offense. They'll run that clock down below 10 seconds, hoping that the defense will go to sleep a little bit. Defensively, they've created 7 turnovers already from Boise State. Those have led to some easy buckets. So then the game's kind of like what we thought it was going to be, 17-16, a bit of a dogfight right here.
It certainly is a scrappy one at the moment, as Boise State has the basketball back out of the timeout. Not a whole lot of scoring going on. Degenhart leads everyone with the 2 threes he's converted on. He's got 6 points. 4 on the clock for Kijab. In the post, goes to that little fadeaway, and he is fouled, not blocked, but fouled by Jordan Campbell.
Yeah, really good defense by Campbell. I think Kijab lucky to draw the foul there. Kijab hasn't scored yet. We talked about him in the openings. He's got to make buckets for Boise State to have a chance tonight, I think.
And that foul right there looks like it's one that comes from the new rule where they have to have, the shooter at least, has to have space to land. Campbell was right underneath Kijab's feet. He didn't necessarily land on him, but he didn't give Kijab anywhere to go. And Abu misses the first free throw.
Well, the Achilles heel for Boise State, if there was one this year, has been from the free throw line. Kijab 61% shooter. Boise State as a team shoots about the same.
Kijab misses them both, and Campbell gets the rebound, so maybe a bit of justice served in Campbell's minds. Picks up the foul, but he does get to stat pad with the free rebound. And Fresno State keeps their 1-point lead. Robinson against Smith. This should be a mismatch for the Bulldogs. Doesn't look like they want to try to exploit it. Robinson desperate to get that ball back, though, down on the left block. Campbell with 3, fading around Armouche, doesn't hit anything but backboard. Broncos have it, though, so no shot clock violation.
Yep, Boise State was very disciplined, very patient defensively in that possession. Forced him into a bad shot.
Rice attacking on the dribble drive. Shaver for 3, got it.
Boy, I sure like it when Shaver gets his feet underneath him. High probability that ball's going in.
Shaver from the WCC. He's been in Boise now for 3 years, redshirt senior, but he started his career at Portland, and he was a great player there. He's been a great player for the Broncos. Kijab on the run out, going at Robinson.
Oh, how'd he make that?
How did he make that? Indeed. Orlando Robinson was right there, and Kijab went through him like he was invisible.
Oh, that was a great finish. I'm sure we'll get a look at that later, but that was way more difficult than anybody thinks. Broncos out to a 4-point lead.
This is Campbell, entry to Robinson, sizing up Najee Smith. Now the double comes, 3 on the clock. Campbell beyond the arc, way long, and the Bronco bench fired up about the violation.
Well, we talked to Boise State's coaching staff before the game, and they said one of the keys is they have to stay patiently defensively late in the shot clock, and they've done it. They've forced some really horrible shots by Fresno late in the clock.
Bulldogs are on nearly a 3-minute scoring drought. Smith lines one up.
Oh.
Smith cashes in. Timeout, Bulldogs. Justin Hudson calls it as Boise State has erupted on an 8-0 run. They lead Fresno State by 7.
Well, and I don't think anybody in the house didn't think Najee was going to take that 3. He just caught it, flipped it up there, hit nothing but the bottom of the net.
Catch and shoot with confidence for the senior Najee Smith. He's coming off a game where he had just 6 points. Did pick up 3 blocks, though, off the bench. 6 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 blocks to go along with 2 steals in 23 minutes. Another guy who's from Spokane made his return in that neutral site game against Washington State. And for Boise State, coming into this conference play on the 6-game winning streak, things have just been going right for them in every aspect. Offensively, though, specifically moving the ball, finding that open look.
Well, they're just making shots, right? I mean, 66% from the 3-point line for Boise State here early. That's not what we've seen so far this season. So, turn of events and a good turn of events for Boise State.
Broncos 9 of 13 from the floor. Oh, a rim-rattling alley-oop. That's courtesy of Braxton Mia. Great find. And that is certainly one way to take some energy out of the home building.
Boy, it really is. Obviously, they called that out of the timeout. And you got a 7-1 guy out there. You can throw it up above the rim once in a while.
The sophomore Mia getting up. Kijab on the reverse. Oh, look at that.
Another great finish by Kijab. So if you're Fresno State, you do not want to let him get going because he can score a bunch in a hurry.
Armish with the swat. Boise State bringing the life back in after it got sucked out. Pick and roll, and Armush is going to the line.
Playing with a lot of confidence right now. Boise State, they're getting good looks, and they're knocking them down.
Fans are fired up. Beautiful dime from Marcus Shaver.
Boy, and the big fella gets to go get another one for here from the free throw line. 2 of 3 tonight already.
He's got 6 points. Opportunity to take over the scoring lead here tonight, and he does it. Squeaky clean. 3 for 4 from the line.
Leonard, I'll tell you, when you make a few of them as a shooter, boy, it gets a lot easier for the next one.
A number that Fresno State certainly going to hate, 73%. That's what the Boise State Broncos are shooting right now. They're 11 of 15 from the floor. They're 6 of their last 6, and Robinson cans a three-pointer.
Well, you can't relax. Armas just did not get up on him. Momentum was to Boise State. He backed off a little bit, and Robinson just drilled it. We'll see if the Broncos can answer.
It's the two big men, both with 7. Armush and Robinson. Shaver, too much space.
Marcus Shaver. That shot is so pure. High probability it's going in when Marcus Shaver releases it.
Redshirt senior now has 8 points. Robinson fighting hard, turns it over. Trying to spring it to Colomario.
Big fella, uh-oh, one too many. One too many.
Yeah, that's a travel against Milan Armush, but he's been doing his work offensively. He's got 7 points. Boise State leads it by 10. (32-22), Boise State leads Fresno State. Leonard Berry, Brian King here at ExtraMile Arena. Expected a very defensive battle tonight. Brian, well, that's certainly not what we've got through the first 17 minutes at all.
No, I think we were dead wrong in the open. I mean, this has been an offensive battle, especially for Boise State. They're shooting 75% from the floor, 12 of 16, 71% from the three-point line, and of course 50% from the free throw line, but that's okay.
Certainly is okay when you're making your shots from the floor like the Broncos are. Boise State knows they can hang with anybody really in the nation because of their strong defense. But when they're shooting like this, there's not many teams that can hang with them.
No, I think that's right, and that's what every Boise State fan has really been hoping for. The defense has been spectacular this year, and we've kind of just thought maybe the offense is going to come around. So far it has. Again, down to 7 on the shot clock.
It's Stroud once again. He's the one stuck with it in the low clock situation. He forces it up. He misses the rim, and Boise State forces another terrible shot at the end of a possession.
Gosh, I think, Boise State has taken a play out of Fresno's book is when the clock gets down to single digits, they're going to try to double the ball a little bit, put a little pressure on that guy. And it's working.
Saw a little backside appearance from Marcus Shaver. He didn't really have much of an effect on the play, but he was there, and Stroud didn't have anywhere to release the ball to as Hill tries to draw a flopping foul mostly. That'll be a kicked ball violation off the foot of Colomario. Or they're going to call a foul offensively against Abu Kijab before this pass was thrown.
Okay, I guess I didn't see that one. I'm sure they're right. They're always right.
Happened underneath the basket.
I didn't see that. Okay.
It was away from the play, so that's how Boise State turns the ball over for the 9th time.
Well, boy, if you're Fresno State, you really need to get a couple buckets here before halftime and at least kind of get some flow, a little bit of rhythm into your offense. They're just going to give it to Robinson, let him kind of go to work.
Robinson wants to cook. Hill from very deep, and that is money from the outside.
Yeah, really nice adjustment by Fresno that time. Wide open shot. Hill knocked it down. Fresno going to junk it up a little bit. Last 2 possessions, they picked up full court, a little man-to-man.
Some forced a turnover in the full court. This time, Boise State managed to deal with it. As Robinson knows that Kijab can hit from that elbow spot. That's a tough drive from Kijab. He ends up on his backside with no whistle. Hill quick. That 3 in transition.
Maybe Fresno said, we're not going to run it down on the clock every time down. Maybe we got to go a little bit earlier here. That was a really good look.
Of course, you can never be upset taking a shot that early in the possession when you do get a look like that. Kijab doubled in the post. Very tough pass, but Shaver's wide open.
Don't leave him open.
3.
Do not leave Marcus Shaver Jr. open.
First player on the night into double digits is Shaver Jr., the Phoenician, 3 of 4 from downtown.
Let's see if Fresno keeps going a little bit earlier here in the clock.
Robinson's pass is hit off of Hill. Shaver scoring on one end, active hands on the other.
Yeah, we'll get a second look here. Shaver just stayed with it. Hill, it's like, hey, my rule was always if you could grab the ball, grab the ball. Don't take a chance, just grab it.
Boise State has hit 8 of their last 9 field goals. They're shooting 72%. Fresno State shooting 39% at the moment. And the Broncos have taken 10 less shots than Fresno State, but they have a 10-point lead. Shows you the efficiency that Boise State has. Kejab saves a mental mistake from becoming a turnover.
A little bit of mismatch here for Kejab. He's going to keep it. Oh, good defense.
He's blocked again. Wow. And Armish called for the foul as he tried to go for the offensive rebound over the back of Braxton Mia.
We'll get another look. Kejab had a little bit of a mismatch. Great defense, great elevation. Big fella picks one up.
That was Junior Ballard who blocked the shot, the senior from Stockton, California. A lot of transfers on both sides. Ballard, one of them. He's from Cal Poly. Spent 2 years there. Played in 45 games. Started 23.
Well, Leonard, I think if you look at any roster in America, it's full of transfers. The game has just changed dramatically. I don't like it, for one. I'm not sure coaching staffs around the country like it, making their job much more difficult. But it is what it is at this point.
You have to not only be a great recruiter, but you have to be a great transfer recruiter nowadays.
It's almost like you've got to have somebody on your staff who just manages the transfer portal, and that's, you know, I just don't think it's good long-term for college basketball.
Last shot of the first half will go to Boise State. It's Shaver who slips and puts it up, missing everything. Degenhart gets the rebound. His shot is affected, but it's Boise State who heads into the locker room up by 10. Shaver's got 11 to lead them all. Halftime at ExtraMile Arena. Boise State leading Fresno State to open the Mountain West Conference slate here on a Tuesday night. Leonard Berry, Brian King with you. And it's a simple story at the moment here, Brian. The field goal percentage is all you need to know to understand why the two scores are where they are at. There is a look at it. 65% for the Broncos, 38% for Fresno State. That's the story of the night.
It really is, and we kind of talked in the open that this was just going to be a defensive dogfight, and there has been a lot of great defense, but Boise State has gotten really good looks at the basket, and they've just stepped up and knocked them down. It's kind of that simple. Fresno State has gotten good looks as well, not as many as Boise State. Fresno State not knocking them down. Boise State has done a great job defensively of challenging every pass and every possession. That's the story of the first half.
And for Boise State, defensively, we've seen a lot of great defense, come specifically at the end of the shot clock. Boise State is staying very disciplined. They are not trying to do too much. Once that shot clock gets under 10, they're sticking right on their man, and it's forcing Fresno State to put shots up with a hand in the face seemingly every time that shot clock goes under 5 seconds.
Yeah, and it really was a focus of Boise State's coaching staff coming into this game, as they knew Fresno would take it deep in the clock. They tried to get you to relax. Most teams don't want to guard for 30 seconds, right? That's just not normal to have to guard that long. They've been disciplined in the approach. It's worked. They've challenged every shot with 1 or 2 seconds left on the clock.
A number to watch for Boise State going forward as well is their assist number. They dished out 8 assists in the first half. So far on this season, they're 7-1 when they get to 12 or more. Sharing the ball has been the MO for Boise State to help them be successful in knocking down shots, and it's propelled them through the first half as well.
Boy, it really has, and they've made it look very simple. Dribble, drive, kick. Dribble, drive, kick. Stand up. The easiest three-point shot to make, Leonard. You got your feet underneath you. It's a kick out to you when your defense is not close to you. We can all make those shots. Those are a great one. Boise State, 9 turnovers in the first half. That has been an Achilles heel of theirs this season. They've got to take care of the basketball in the second half.
Certainly, and if Boise State sees this field goal percentage drop off in the second half, which it more than likely will, it's hard to sustain these numbers, the turnovers will become a bigger and bigger factor. It's already a 10-point game right now. Fresno State could easily close that gap as the game goes on. We'll take a break, be back with highlights when we return. 10-point game in Boise. Halftime on the Mountain West Network and Stadium. Fresno State trailing Boise State And for Fresno State at the moment, Orlando Robinson leading the way in the scoring department. He's got 7 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, but 2 turnovers for the big junior out of Las Vegas. Isaiah Hill with 6 points, 2 of 7 shooting for him, but 2 of 3 from downtown, and he's dished out 2 assists. Fresno State will be hoping that Hill can start becoming more of a facilitator and a scorer for the Bulldogs here as the game goes on. And it is Leo Colomario who leads the Bulldogs in terms of rebounds. He has pulled down 4. Those are the stats for Fresno, Brian, in a first half where they didn't have much going, especially compared to Boise State.
No, they really didn't. And again, we can't harp on this too much, but it's just the facts. Boise State just shot the heck out of the basketball, right? Degenhardt's got 6. He's 2 of 2. Shaver 11, 4 of 6. If he's open, that ball's probably going in. Max Rice has got 2. He's come off the bench. Got a nice bucket for him. Smith hit a big 3. Nobody expected. He's got 3. He's 1 for 1. Kejab, 2 unbelievable finishes at the rim. He's 2 for 4. Acot's been pretty quiet. I would expect him to maybe get going in the second half. 2 points for Acot, and the big fella Armus, 7 points.
Yeah, 7 points for Armouche. Kejab with a 4-4-4 at the moment. 4 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists. Acot's been on the bench with 2 fouls. When we come back, we'll take a look at some of the big performers of that first half. New Jersey is being debuted for Boise State as the Bulldogs hit the floor, and maybe no one likes him more than Marcus Shaver Jr. Big first half for the Portland transfer tonight.
Well, he's just your perfect, really, college shooting guard, right? If his feet are under him, pretty good chance the ball's going in the bucket. Shaver's had a great first half. He's so confident with his jump shot, little step back right there for Shaver. He's got 11 in the first half. We're going to see a couple of more right here, 3 more, I should say. And look at him with a little head shake right there. He knows it. He knows it. Feet under him. Boom. That's simple. Second half might be the story of the big guys, though.
It certainly might. We've seen Shaver on the offensive end, also on the defensive end. Well, Aden Armouche, talk about a defensive anchor for Boise State, but he's got some scoring going down today. A couple of times that he's got himself to the line with and ones and found himself able to finish there. In fact, he's 3 of 4 on free throws thanks to that lane violation. Then the big block he had on Isaiah Hill. He is that defensive anchor for the Broncos, but his teammates have to get him the ball for him to score. They've been doing that today, and he has been converting. Boise State 4-0 this season. When Armouche scores 10 or more, he's got 7 right now. That's something they'll look to continue in the second half. And for Fresno State, they've got to get Orlando Robinson more involved in this game. He's 3 of 6 from the floor for 7 points, with just 1 rebound and 1 assist. Brian, you would expect Fresno State to try and find a way to get him into their game plan as much as possible here over the next 20 minutes.
Yeah, Robinson's got to touch the ball more. I mean, this is a potential NBA player, right? A potential player of the year in the conference, being talked about as potential player of the year in the nation. Probably not going to happen, but he's being talked about it. This kid's a good player. He's got to touch the ball more for Fresno State, and I think they've got to go earlier in their offense. They've been a little too patient, and Boise State's been ready for it.
And according to Ken Palm, only 6 players in the entire country are performing at a higher rate than Orlando Robinson this season. Boise State has neutralized him in the first half. We'll see what the second half has to offer when we come back to Boise. Almost time for the second half in Boise. About 25 seconds until things get kicked off. Fresno State looking to slow down the explosive Boise State offense, while the Broncos are trying to keep up the strong defensive presence that has them on this 6-game winning streak, trying to push it to 7 over the 6 games. Opponent shooting just 36% against Boise State and 28% from deep. Those are nearly the numbers that Fresno State are shooting right now after one half.
Yeah, and Leonard, I'm most excited right now to see what kind of adjustments both of these coaches make coming out in the second half. Boise State, I mean, if you can get away with it, just do what you did, right? I mean, it's simple as that. Fresno State clearly not happy with how the first half turned out for them. So let's see what kind of
What kind of adjustments Fresno State makes coming out in the second half here of the game number 1 in the Mountain West Conference?
It'll be very interesting. I don't think any coach in the nation game plans for shooting 65% in the half, though. I'll say that. I definitely don't think Leon Rice ever goes into a game saying, you guys are going to shoot 65% tonight, and we're going to blow the other team out.
No, that's true, but boy, they really did get good looks, and a lot of them.
Armush going to pick up a foul as he pushed Robinson out of bounds. So Flatten Armush picks up just his second. He got into foul trouble a bunch in Spokane. He got just 13 minutes and picked up 4 fouls. Got 2 quick ones at the start of the first half, got 2 quick ones at the start of the second half.
Well, Fresno, first possession, they got it to Robinson, and they got it to him quick. I would think that's going to happen a little bit more. He's just going to go to work here.
Hill just tried to lob him up to the basket. Now it's Hill on the drive. Little finger roll is into the hands of Degenhardt off the rim.
Boy, good take, tough shot to make for Hill. Kind of a left-handed fall away.
Aycott got his hand brushed on the follow through. And this will be a jump ball as down to the floor goes Jordan Campbell, or make it rather Junior Ballard.
What an early look for Boise State, too. Aycott just said, hey, I'm open. I'm going to go get one right here, quick. Well, this place would have went nuts if that would have went down.
Aycott has been supremely quiet so far. That was just the 3rd shot he's taken all night. He has just 2 points.
Here goes big versus big.
Kijab trying to draw that double almost. He was baiting it, and now he gets to switch on Robinson, and Armush gets the offensive rebound. Trying to go up through 2, no whistle. Bronco bench cannot believe it. Is Robinson pulls it in.
Probably should have kicked that. Maybe got a little too aggressive. Robinson's going to go get one here.
Yeah, Robinson does go up, and it's 2 off the glass for the 7-footer.
My guess is he's going to get his 6 or 8 shots he had early in the second half as opposed to the entire first half. He's going to get them early.
Second team All Mountain West a year ago. This year, one of the only true forwards, in fact, the only true forward selected to the preseason all-conference team in the Mountain West. Armush, he doesn't do this often. Rebound Campbell.
Boise State's come out firing. Maybe Leon thinks they are going to get that 65% again in the second half.
Campbell, kick, Ballard. Off the bucket, Robinson rips it away, and now Armush tumbles.
Oh, good pass.
That's a nice find. And again, we said Robinson's got to get more involved. This is why his scoring presence opens up everyone on the floor for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, it does. He's touched it. They've had 3 possessions. He's touched it 3 times.
And Fresno State is on a 4-0 run.
Comes the double. Good job by Kijab. Caught it, kicked it. That simple.
Aycott rising. Aycott a 3.
Again, those kick out threes are the best threes you can shoot.
Fresno State has committed to that double team, so Kijab knows that he can share the wealth. He's got 5 assists now tonight. Boise State is a team with 9. Robinson in. Colomario. Couple of pump fakes, and he gives Degenhardt the shimmy.
See Aycott playing the point. Really, he's done a really admirable job playing the point guard. But 6'8" point guard, maybe not his natural position. Boise State has to play him there. I think he's done a really good job. But part of the reason he doesn't get a lot of looks.
He's been sharing the ball more than any other Bronco. In fact, he's led the team in assists 9 times this season. Good ball movement from Degenhardt. Someone's got to put it up. It's Kijab, and it's off back iron, but Armush is there. Big Serbian rising up for another rebound. He's got 4. Kijab, what a finish.
Kijab's creating his own highlight film tonight. He's had 3 tough finishes at the rim.
As if there wasn't enough on his highlight reel over the last year and a half. Adding to it in year 2.5. Fadeaway no good from Hill. He was leaning. Shaver, that is from downtown. Feet on the logo as he went into the air.
Definitely a different pace in the second half than we saw in the first half.
Armush going to pick up foul number 3. That's big for the Broncos as Robinson has started to take over. It's a 9-point difference. Back in Boise, where the Boise State Broncos at the moment holding Fresno State to just 31 points. Boise State has 40 of their own. Broncos number 19 in the KenPom defensive rankings. They are directly behind an 8-1 UCLA team that is 8th overall in the KenPom rankings. Couple teams around Boise State. How about 12-0 USC, 11-2, number 2 in the entire nation in the Pomeroy rankings, Gonzaga. Michigan State, who's 10-2, and a 12-1 San Francisco team. They beat this Fresno State team earlier on the season. That's some elite company.
That's pretty good company, and Boise State clearly has, they're hanging their hat defensively, but boy, offensively, they're certainly capable.
Robinson tries to switch hands midair. Armush is on the bench after he picked up that 3rd foul. So it's going to be Degenhart, the freshman, trying to guard Robinson. And that's a matchup to keep your eyes on.
Boy, it really is, and I think Fresno State really has to focus on getting the ball to Robinson with Degenhart guarding him.
It'll be interesting to see if Degenhart tries to expand the range for Boise State as well. Smith tried to go beyond the arc. He missed it, though, because that would draw Robinson out of the paint. So this matchup really goes both ways. You imagine it to be a mismatch offensively on both ends, with Degenhart being able to stretch the floor and Robinson wanting to pummel inside. Good D by Degenhart.
Boy, good D. Robinson just rise up and shoot that, though.
Now he goes up, and that is off. Stroud, offensive bucket. He pushes his way into Rice to try to make that contact. Makes the shot maybe tougher than it needed to be, but it goes down.
A little more pressure by Fresno State, and they've been a little more purposeful offensively.
Small ball lineup for the Broncos. Degenhart, the tallest out there at just 6'7". That's what he's listed on the roster, although he plays more like he's 6'8", 6'9".
I think if you're Boise State, I mean, I think you got to go a little quicker here. First shot you get, I think you need to kind of take it.
Aycott gets it thrown back. Smith is there, though, on the second chance.
Boy, Fresno trying to make a run. That's a really big bucket by Smith for Boise State.
Robinson, again, wants it outside, gets 3 this time as he cashes in.
Yeah, hard to guard. I mean, you can't come out on him too close. He's going to go around you. He goes left really good. He finishes really good, and he shoots that 3 pretty well also.
He's about a 33% three-point shooter on the season and taken 37 on the year. Coming into the game, Shaver. Crafty little move.
Shaken Shaver. We're going to want to see that one again at some point as well.
13 for the shooting guard. Robinson just getting involved, and it leads to a little rim grazer for Leo Calamario. And that is the danger of Orlando Robinson touching the basketball. Regardless of what he's doing with it, there's going to be somebody open.
Yeah, that's a really good point. He's just so versatile, so good at every position. He's a threat from every position. With our Moose on the bench, makes it more difficult, but Aycott gets an easy one.
Ballard crumbled to the floor, and Aycott went on the elevator. Two-hand flush for him. Boise State continuing to score.
I've kind of seen a layup drill here going on the last couple of possessions for both teams.
Calamario. Robinson. He just can't get any space on Degenhart. Will this count? Believe it did. It was the referee on the backside who called it. Count the bucket. Robinson's going to the line for the and one. The foul looked to be a little bit early, but the free throw's going to come.
Well, and the crowd wanted to push off, but credit to Robinson. He just stuck with it and stuck with it. He knew he was going to get his big body in there, and he did. Chance to cut the lead to 5 for Fresno.
And that right there is certainly the difference between a freshman and a junior in the Mountain West Conference. Couple more years in the weight room, couple more years of playing that conference schedule, free throw misses. But those are the type of things that you see. And even if you make the jump to the NBA, that's something you see as well.
Yeah, and don't think Robinson doesn't know that he's got a freshman guarding him. right now. Although a very good freshman.
The one who had won the Mountain West Freshman of the Week 3 weeks now running is Degenhart. Stroud thought about it. That was a way tougher shot than the open three would have been for Stroud. As Acott freezes and fires. Degenhart pokes it out. Fresno State will keep it, and it'll be a 6-point difference heading into this second break as Degenhart gets some instruction. 6-point game, and Abu Kijab, the fifth-year forward from St. Catharines, Ontario, has been making the extraordinary possible tonight when it comes to finishing at the rim.
Well, he's made them look pretty easy, but trust me, those 3 buckets were not easy. You know, maybe for Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan, but not at this level. 3 great plays by Kijab. Broncos lead at 46-40, and it's been a faster pace the second half, Leonard.
Yeah, the second half has really changed things around. It hasn't necessarily benefited the Broncos. They've seen their shooting percentage plummet, although you expected that to happen. Armouche back in the game. He cannot pick up another foul. A hop step from Robinson sees him add 2 more to the scoring total. He's got 16.
Well, now a really tough matchup for Armouche with 3 fouls, knowing that he's got to be a little bit careful, and Robinson's just going to take it right at him. And
Robinson just exploited him, got him up in the air. Rice, luckily there to save the pass for Boise State. Foul called on Stroud underneath the basket as Armouche tried to post him up. Robinson here tonight has a pretty solid opportunity to tie Paul George for the most career points, or tie Paul George for 38th in terms of most career points wearing Fresno Bulldogs blue and red. So a long way from being the most decorated scorer in Fresno State history, but that's a pretty good name to get yourself into company with. Great finish from Najee Smith.
Najee's got a game going for himself as well with 7 now for the big fella.
3 of 4 for Najee Smith. Both teams erupting offensively. Broncos 4 of their last 5 have gone down. Fresno State has 5 makes on their last 6.
I wonder if the 2 coaches talked at halftime and said, hey, let's speed this thing up a little bit.
Yap, deep floater, and Donovan Yap, who's no stranger to the Mountain West Conference, played a season at UNLV, just made the move over to Fresno State. A year ago, many probably would have thought that might be a lateral move. But the way Fresno State has played this year, exceeding all expectations. Team that's finished in the top 4 in the Mountain West Conference for the past 6 years. Last year struggled a bit. Max Rice, only 1 3-pointer made all season. He's trying to find that confidence from outside. It just hasn't come for him.
Boy, he just needs a couple to go down. That one looked just absolutely almost perfect. It certainly looked like it was going in. Max will knock down a couple of shots.
Just banged right off that back rim. Yeah, to Robinson. Armouche, he's got to be careful as Robinson picks the fader. And Colomario does get the offensive rebound. Robinson had to save it, but it's a new 20 seconds on the shot clock for the Bulldogs.
Well, Leonard, it looks like both teams a little bit tired. It looked like it's just a little bit slower right now.
Absolutely. And that's what happens when you play defense so frenetically like they did in that first half, and then you come out of the gates in the second and speed up the tempo.
Yeah, good point.
It's very tough to sustain that, especially over 40 full minutes. Now Boise State slowing it down. Good jump by Smith, but there's the turnover. Acott's going to pick up a foul. He knocked it out of the hands of the streaking Hill. That's a 3rd against Acott, so now him and Armouche are skating on some thin ice. Still have a little bit to play with, but not much.
Not much, yeah. You certainly don't want to have those, either one of them pick up another foul. Boise State's done a good job of taking care of the basketball after those first 10 minutes. They turned it over 9 times in the first 10 minutes or so, only 11 right now. Done a much better job of taking care of it. And Fresno, all of a sudden making some shots.
Fresno finding their footing. Yap just throwing it up, doesn't get the foul call that he was expecting.
Wow, that sure looked like one.
Key jab, lost the handle. And Hill takes it away.
I might have jinked him with the turnover talk right there. There's another one.
That is the 12th for Boise State. They'll call key jab, not a shot attempt. He lost the handle instead. Robinson backing down, and he is just so soft inside the paint.
Yeah, he's so hard to guard, and when they run that high screen, that high dribble handoff, it's almost like if he starts to go, you have to double him. He's a handful.
Leon Rice calls a timeout. Justin Hudson not happy, even though his team's within 2. Fresno State outscoring Boise State in the second half, 21-13. Orlando Robinson, 18 points. He's been a big reason why.
Well, we talked about it at halftime. Fresno State in the locker room had to say, we got to get this guy the ball, right? He's probably the best player in the league, and they got him the ball. So he's 11 points in the second half. He's going to catch it. He's going to go to work. Our Moose defending him, doing a nice job. He's got 3 fouls. He's got to be careful. Advantage Robinson.
Robinson's 5 of 8 from the floor, 3 rebounds, 2 assists just in the second half alone. Those are big-time numbers from a big-time player, as now he doubles key jab and forces him into the travel. Boise State crowd can't believe it, but Fresno State can tie or take the lead on this possession.
A lot of body on that one. We'll get a second look. There's some bumps. There's some bumps. Okay, maybe too close to call. That's all right.
The double team again effective.
Nice opportunity for Fresno here. Chance to take the lead.
Fresno State has committed just 1 foul so far in the second half as Robinson goes down and he travels. Trying to do too much. Robinson hits the floor and the teams will head back to the benches. A quick break following the last. Nothing's changed in Boise. Back in Boise, Leonard Berry, Brian King, 48-46. Boise State has the lead. A look at the next 5 matchups for the Boise State Broncos. The big one, the 20th ranked Rams coming to town on January 7th. The question on everyone's mind, of course, will it happen? And if it does, it'll be just the second game for Colorado State over the last month. Games against Tulsa and Alabama canceled. Game at New Mexico has already been postponed for the Rams, who've been having COVID issues. So it could be a chance for Boise State to steal a win as Robinson steals the ball and ties the game.
Well, again, the turnovers, we've been talking about it the whole game, but go back to the schedule. I mean, as we showed that on the TV screen, where's the easy game in there? I mean, Wyoming, Utah State's good, Colorado State's good, Nevada, good. Air Force not off to a great start, but that's at the end of the run. So Boise State's got their hands full.
And the one thing that graphic didn't tell you is Robinson secures another board, is that it's at Wyoming on New Year's Day to kick off 2022, and it's at Utah State before you come home and get tested with the rampant Rams. That is not going to be fun for the Broncos, and they need to get started the right way here tonight, but Fresno State has figured it out, and they've tied it up.
Well, Fresno State and Mr. Robinson have figured it out. He now has 20.
1 point away now for tying Paul George, 38th all time. Of course, top 10 lottery pick was Paul George. One of 3 over the past 22 years for the Bulldogs. Hill blocked by Shaver at the end of the shot clock. Second block for Shaver tonight. Degenhart, this is a big 3. And unlike in Spokane, he can't connect.
Degenhart's been a little quiet since the early minutes of this game. He'll get it going here in a little bit.
You can feel the nervous energy from the crowd at the moment. Bronco faithful know how important this one is. Robinson, wow!
Boy, again, I think you almost have to double that if he starts to go. But the problem with the double is the kick out to the open shooters. I know the Boise State coaching staff really concerned about that, but he's a handful when he gets it.
With that bucket, Orlando Robinson has now scored more points as a Bulldog than Paul George ever did. Elite company.
Boy, that's elite company right there.
Armouche, two-handed hammer.
Again, off the assist. Boise State is good when buckets come off an assist. And here comes the crowd here in beautiful Boise, Idaho.
Armouche with 9 points. Timeout called. Justin Hudson calls it. The fourth-year head coach for the Bulldogs. And Brian, with this timeout, game's tied. It's a good time to highlight the two coaches. You got Leon Rice, so experienced in the Mountain West. And then you've got Justin Hudson on the other side.
Well, yeah, we can talk about Leon Rice. He's the all-time winningest coach in Boise State history. Oh, we're going to get a second look at Robinson real quick. Again, the guy's just a load down low. I mean, he can put it on the floor. He can steps out and hits threes. He's really a tough guy to defend. Back to Leon. He's really had an incredible career here at Boise State. He has recruited the best players ever in the history of Boise State basketball. I mean, you can go back to Nick Duncan. You can go back to Derek Marks. I mean, there's Anthony Dremick. I mean, he has brought a lot of great talent to Boise State. Part of the reason he's the all-time winningest coach in Boise State history.
Of course, the one name that you didn't mention that's probably at the top of everyone's mind, the only first-round pick for the Boise State Broncos, Chandler Hutchinson.
Yeah, I ran out of time. I mean, you got Chandler Hutchinson. I mean, you've got so many good players that have been here the last 10 years. Justinian Jessup's another one, NBA player. Oh.
Turnover by the Bulldogs. Of course, the man with the basketball right now, the highest ever prep player to join the Boise State team. Acott came out of high school as the 88th best player in his class. And when he signed with Boise State, was and still is the highest graded prep player to join Boise State after transferring from Arizona. So Leon Rice and his staff know a thing or two about recruiting, and Marcus Shaver knows a thing or two about scoring.
Boy, get the ball to Marcus Shaver. Pretty jump shot.
15 for Shaver, 60% from the floor. Robinson again getting involved. He backs down Armouche. Little shake to the fade, and it's an air ball.
Boy, made a great move, NBA move, JV shot. He just didn't finish it. This will be a big possession for Boise State.
Armouche nearly got scared there by Robinson's presence. Shaver off a screen. Three more!
Shaking Shaver!
Broncos by 5. The ball is loose. It is out of bounds off Fresno State.
Boy, you don't want this crowd to get going if you're Fresno, and here it comes. We'll see Shaver again.
It's been the story of two separate players tonight. On one side, you got Marcus Shaver Jr. with 18 points, 7 of 11 from the floor. And for Fresno State, you've got Orlando Robinson, 22 points on 10 of 17 shooting. And neither of them getting much help. They're the only two on the whole evening in double digits here in Boise.
Yeah, these two are really battling it out. Quality players, obviously. Robinson for Fresno State in the second half has just taken over. My guess is he's going to continue to do that. If you're Fresno, you do not want to give Marcus Shaver Jr. an open look, because when he starts to feel it, oh, watch out.
Boise State is assaulting the basket from beyond the three-point line. They are 8 of 17, 47% on their triple tries. Here's Shaver trying to get 3 more. That one's off to the right. Armouche, big board, big fight, and a big trip to the line.
Shaver, a little bit of a heat check there. They called that for him coming out of a timeout. Went a little sideways on him, but the big fella just keeps battling.
Junior Ballard went to the floor hard as Armouche came through him for the rebound. Opportunity to get in double digits for Mladen Armouche. Another one upcoming at the line. He's on 9 points. Transfer from East Tennessee State. Boise State recruited both Armouche and Fardaws Amack, who plays for Utah Valley. Ended up getting Mladen Armouche. Can't really go wrong with either, of course. We saw AMAC here in Boise earlier this season. At the moment, AMAC's second in the entire nation in rebounds per game.
You know, Armu's 4 of 6 from the free throw line tonight. Actually, pretty good effort.
He's got double digits for the 5th time this season.
Oh, boy.
And off from 3 is Junior Ballard. Missed it right. Broncos with just over 3 to go. Trying to extend their run. Bulldogs have not scored in 3 minutes. Boise State has gone on an 8-0 run in that time.
Boy, I think Kejab needs to touch it. He's got to touch it a couple times here. 3 minutes to go.
Acott, 5 on the clock. Robinson steps
Oh!
up, but he's not there.
The fellow Canadian, Acott, gets it done.
That is huge from the man from Manitoba. Tough defense from Boise State. Getting to the rim is Campbell, and he scores. That ends the Boise State run at 11-0.
Boy, that was a nice finish by Campbell, too. Took it hard.
Acott goes down, and instantly Ballard helps him up. Great sportsmanship on display there. Not a lot of fouls in this second half. Of course, there hasn't been a whole lot to call. Just 7 between the two teams, but they've been going so quick and playing from the outside.
Yeah, almost kind of a gentleman-like game. I mean, it's gone quick. Not a lot of fouls.
Broncos with the ball in the hands of Kejab. Instead, it's to Acott, both of them the Canadians. In fact, 3 internationals on the court for Boise State. With Acott, Kejab, and Armush, and nearly a turnover. Acott, right place, right time, in pure luck. 6 seconds, Acott, big bucket. He's got double digits. Give him 12 points now. Shaver, Acott, Armush.
Big possession here for Fresno.
Naturally, it goes to Robinson. It's out of bounds, but Fresno State will keep the basketball.
Boy, see you there. I mean, Acott, he can get it done on the offensive end. He can also guard the point guard. He can also guard the 7-footer.
5-position defender is Emmanuel Acott. Entry to Robinson. Bulldogs got to go quick. Foul called on Kejab for the reach-in.
See our moose backs off a little bit. Kejab, just kind of got him on the arm.
And Brian, one of the biggest differences this year that we've seen on this winning streak for Boise State is power down the stretch. In the big minutes, that's when the Broncos come to play. Other times they've kind of shied away from the big moment. What a finish, Isaiah Hill. That is a huge basket. And an even bigger trip to the line upcoming.
Boy, that was a great finish. I hope we get a second look at that. Here it comes. I mean, the little guy right after the big left-handed off the glass. Super sweet, big bucket. Chance to add one more for Hill.
Hill's got 8 points now. Robinson with 22. He's the only Bulldog with more than 8 points. It's Hill, the next highest scorer. Again, much like a year ago when Neemias Keita got to do whatever he wanted against Boise State and the Broncos won both games, that's kind of what's happening here for Robinson. He can have his success, but as a team, Boise State is shutting down the rest of the Bulldogs.
Yep. Here comes the pressure by Fresno. Boy, free throw shooting may be pretty important here down the stretch for Boise State. Take care of the basketball, use that clock, knock down your free throws. Oh boy, take care of the basketball.
Yep, the big turnover there. Hill, full on attack mode. Ballard, 3, way off target. And Shaver's got it. Don't know if the Bulldogs needed to go as quick as they did. But they made their bed, and now they might have to lie in it with a minute left.
Boy, Fresno's got to come at him now. 55 seconds to go. I'm not sure they can let him burn 20 on the clock here.
61-55. Shaver, 5 on the clock.
Big
Armush!
fella.
And is that the basket that seals the game for Boise State? Hill on the attack. Blocked by Degenhart. Armush has it. And now Degenhart is fouled with 31 ticks to go.
Boy, Boise State, just like you said, they're tough down the stretch. They dig in. How about Shaver? How about Shaver again? Great eyes, great look, great pass. Our Moose with a great finish.
Shaver's got 4 assists. Kejab with 6. Boise State not yet in the bonus. So Degenhart inbounds from the backcourt. Finds Max Rice, and now he's fouled by Colamario.
Boy, really good job by Max Rice. Heads up play, came to the ball, knew he was going to get fouled. Smart play by Max Rice.
Armush on the bench for Boise State. Partly because Broncos will be shooting free throws here soon, and also because Armush has 4 fouls.
Boy, if I'm Max Rice, I'm just going to keep going and get it. 80% free throw shooter. Really smooth touch.
Only about 2 seconds have come off the clock on all these inbounds for Boise State. Here's a foul from Hill. That is finally the 7th foul of the half against the Bulldogs, who were maybe unfortunate in the fact that they hadn't fouled more earlier in the half, because now they had to waste a lot of time here in the dying moments of the game.
Yeah, we talked about a very cleanly played game, almost kind of gentlemanlike, no fouls. Now we'll get to shoot a free throws down the stretch.
Max Rice shooting a 1-and-1. Broncos in the bonus. And Rice makes the first, so he earns the second. But more importantly, he puts Boise State up by 9.
Well, I think Leon Rice can be pretty happy with this win.
This is a Fresno State team that has been tested, a Bulldog team that has played 4 tough road games. And at the moment, Boise State up by 10 with 28 seconds to go. Looks like the Broncos are going to push their winning streak to 7 games, while Fresno State is going to fall to 1-4 in true road contests. Hill, 3-pointer, and that should seal it as Shaver comes away with the miss. And the Broncos are going to walk out of their home conference opener with a 10-point victory here on a Tuesday night.
Yeah, high quality win for Boise State against a really good 10-3, now 10-4 Fresno team. Coach Rice and his staff will be very, very happy.
Making now 7 teams in a row that Boise State has defeated, and along with that, they have held all of them to 60 points or less. Fresno State does end their night shooting 43% from the floor, but it's no match for the 56% that the Broncos stroke it from, with 47% of their shots from outside falling.
Well, the defense has really carried this team the entire season so far, but now they're starting to knock down shots. And I don't think anybody who follows this team really believed it was a poor shooting team. They're not. These are good basketball players. They can make baskets. They showed us tonight. Boy, they shot the lights out in the first half.
And I think the question going forward now for Boise State, fans have been wondering, where was the median for this team? The question now, after this winning streak and after how they played in the non-conference, where is the ceiling for this team? How good are they, and how good can they be in this difficult Mountain West Conference?
Boy, that's a really good point. How good can they be? If they continue to guard, they need to make free throws. They're not a good free throw shooting team. That's got to get better. They've got to take care of the basketball. Hey, sky's the limit in a very, very good Mountain West Conference this year.
Well, we've got Marcus Shaver Jr. with us, leading scorer on the night for Boise State. And Marcus, you were getting open everywhere, teammates setting screens, finding space for yourself. How did it feel out there tonight with the shot?
It felt good to get this first conference win. Teammates were just setting me up tonight, just playing inside out tonight, and it worked out for us.
Hey, Marcus, I've got a new nickname for you. Shaken Shaver, I think is what I'm going with from now. When you've just got such a confident look when you get one to go down, it's almost like the next one is absolutely going down, and then you start to give it to the other players.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Appreciate
Big
it.
win for you tonight.
Thank you, sir.
Marcus, well, we appreciate the time. Thank you for joining us here, and good luck going forward on the road on New Year's Day at Wyoming.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That was Marcus Shaver, redshirt senior guard for Boise State. Broncos open the conference Slate with a big victory, 65-55 over Fresno State.
A cold winter night. Boise State fans don't get to watch a football game. I'm glad they turned out tonight to see a really, really well-played basketball game by Boise State, Leon Rice and his team.
Boise State tentatively back at home on January 7th against Colorado State. Until then, they'll be on the road. You can watch them on New Year's Day. At Wyoming, they'll take on Jeff Linder's Cowboys, who have 10 wins on the season. For my broadcast partner, Brian King, and the rest of our crew here at the Mountain West Network and Stadium, I'm Leonard Berry. Thanking you for tuning in. It's Boise State at Wyoming on Saturday. You can catch it all then. So long, everyone. Broncos win it.